I love the Chimu pick. I love the Chimu pick. So this, if you're not familiar, chat, and I wouldn't blame you, is another Andes nation, something which Corbett has made work extremely well in the past. You appear to now have the maps are duplicating over here.
No, I'm just admiring the Time magazine issue of 1444.
Okay, that doesn't look like the 1444 map. Not completely certain about that one.
Who are you, man? The map police?
Yeah, can you tell? I'm not sure which side of my head it is. It's very confusing.
Do I need to present my map ID or something?
I don't think so. I don't think so. So Chimu and Majapahit, and we have a 7 and an 8 pick. Again, feeling kind of similar to last time, but with much harder challenges, would be my take. And we're already off. Oh my lord. Okay. So, taking a look now at the challenges, which I will get on screen for you, chat, when they are ready. But Chimu, harder than Cusco in terms of unifying up here, right?
I would say it's about the same in my opinion. I'd say Chimu's a little bit easier actually, because Chimu starts with more. Yeah, Chimu starts with more units. They start with stronger base, more
leader,
development, though, right? And they. I mean, yeah, sure, the leader's worse, but if you're playing a short run, it doesn't really matter. Unless he's trying to reform, which he's not. It doesn't necessarily matter. Plus, he has easy expansion paths. With Chimu, you can easily grab up the northern bits and then push into the south afterwards, right? So it's a lot easier. It's with Cusco, it can be tough because the alliance sets can really screw you over. But with Chimu, you can consolidate the north before any alliance sets actually do anything to you, which is a big bonus for them. So this is like the safe way, not necessarily if you want to go full historical, you want to go Cusco, but
sure.
But Chimu's the safe way. You got double the amount of provinces, more units, better economic base. It's definitely the way.
So that puts Corbett in a pretty strong position to get all 7 of these. Obviously, with Zlewikk with 10 picks, it does put him in a dominant position if he can get all of them. But we have seen even Zlewikk can fail. Admittedly, it was when he was playing Rome, so that does make things quite a bit harder. But let's see if we can get the challenges up here. Nice. So there they are. As you can see, Corbett going for Unite Culture Group, which basically means conquer the Andes. I think there's some in the south that are not in the culture group we established. Oh no, sorry, they're not in the trade node. That's right. 2 starting rivals cease to exist. Pretty automatic if you're going for uniting the trade node here. Highest global trading income in the known world. That's going to be pretty easy. 55% crown lands. What's the estate situation here?
For Chimu?
Yeah. Do they have... I don't actually know what the Andes nations have. Okay, so it's just standard, looks like. Okay, interesting. That shouldn't be too bad, but, would be much harder if you were forced to restart.
Chimu actually starts with 35%, so... Well, 30% after he sees 35%, so he just needs to wait, 20 years he has to play the game for. So by that point, he's going to unify all of his culture group, right? And that's pretty much all he needs to do, right?
So yeah, not too bad as long as he isn't forced to restart, because having to wait 40 years would be that's pushing it in terms of the amount of time that our players are going to be able to get through. 4 gold provinces, not too difficult, and 25 inflation, not too difficult. Honestly, feels like Corbett maybe could have taken one more. Like this is not a kind of...
I agree.
Not a hugely
He's definitely playing it safe here, if I might say.
But what else could he have got, I suppose, to be fair? Looking at the stuff that's left on the board, I mean, I feel like Phil forced limit with cavalry would have been, well, no, it's because he doesn't have the mill tech, right?
Yeah.
That would definitely make things more challenging.
Technically, doesn't that mean that, well, he just needs 1 tech, right?
I think so. Yeah, I always forget. It's very rare that you
start
spend too
military
much time
tech
below
1.
2. Yeah.
So cavalry is at what level?
Yeah, Lady Sapphire has a good point. Technically speaking, horses don't even exist on this supercontinent yet.
Yeah.
Riding around on llamas. He only has 5% crown land. What? Did he grant out the manor privileges? That seems bold. I hope he knows he has crown land.
Actually, no. South American horsemen are at Tech 6, so
It takes 6.
a little bit later down the line.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, well, let's take a look over from Zlewick's perspective then. Majapahit, obviously, pretty strong starting nation. Going to be good for production leader and trade, obviously fitting nicely with Majapahit's start, but we'll see.
Majapahit, if you don't know what you're doing, can be a challenging start, but if you do know what you're doing, it can be a really, really good and rewarding country, because you have right next to you the Spice Islands that he's attacking right now, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's going to get all that juicy income from those bits. He's probably going to vassalize them so that he can use their mission tree to colonize the rest, and then he's going to integrate them after they get all the Spice Islands colonized. And whilst all of that's going on, he's definitely going to unify the rest of it. Can we see the objectives whilst we're over?
Certainly, yeah. And speaking of the objectives, do get your channel point predictions in now. Will Zlewikk complete all 10 quests? I managed to clean up last time by betting on my meat-tuber bro, Chewy. And I am now betting against Zlewikk. So prepare to lose everything. But it's time if you're
No,
interested.
I think Zolvik's going to get this. So here's the thing. I think overextension he might be struggling with, because Majapahit is not necessarily the best at, so I would have thought that he's going to go for a horde, considering the objectives he's got over there. But it's not impossible. Overextension literally just implies a big war in which he's going to annex everybody step by step at the same time, so he gets the overextension. Right?
Sure.
But that's probably going to be for the later bit, which brings me to the issue of this is 1 hour. So he has to really time this properly, right? Otherwise, it can end up pretty badly for him.
Absolutely. And then production leader of 2 goods, you have to imagine he's not going to struggle with that, right? With all of the, obviously, just grabs a bunch of the Spice Islands and he's pretty much set on...
Yeah. That's definitely not an issue, yeah.
Most trade power in 4 nodes, so he's probably going to go for... Java, Philippines?
Malacca,
that would be a good one to pair with the Conquest, I guess, because there's quite a lot of dev, starting dev around Straits of Malacca. Could be good.
All provinces of trade node is definitely Malacca, but he's going to have to integrate his vassals, because the Spice Island nations are going to eventually be vassals, I'm assuming, right? Trade good producer is going to be cloves. And the second trade, maybe spices. I think spices would be the easiest one for him. He doesn't start with any spices, but Sunda right next to him is the world production leader of spices. So he literally just needs to annex Sunda, and he's got the second trade good. And then you got the other one from cloves. Or if he really wants to make it easier, he could also go for, say, I don't know, cotton or something of the sorts. He does start with 3 cotton provinces, or 2, and another one in his vassal of Blambarang, tributary of Blambarang.
Yeah, makes sense. And then I feel like the most trade power in shouldn't be too bad. Where's the 10 province nation though?
10 province nation, that's a good question. Maybe he's gonna go for the Southeast Asian bits. So maybe he's gonna try and attack. Cambodia is a little bit too big for that, I'm afraid, as is Ayutthaya. Maybe once Ming collapses, he's going to try and go for some of the Ming nations that spring out. Or how many does Brunei have? Does it have 10? No, it has 9.
Yeah, it's not quite enough, right? Yeah.
It's 9. It's literally 1 province less. So if Brunei gets 1 more province, if they expand by literally 1 province, then he's going to be able to get it.
Right.
So that would be the play, I guess.
Yeah, that would make sense. But do they start with low enough dev to vassalize?
So it's 96 for the starting.
So they have to grab something really low.
Or he could increase his admin efficiency or something of the sorts. You never know. There's other ways around it, right? You could also vassal, or you could fully annex them, I guess. Well, that would be the long way, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Fully annex and then feed them provinces, wait for them to core, and then do the old cheese that we've seen other players try to do.
Sure. Could work. Great point from chat though. There are Majapahitine missions which give the vassalization CB. So if he could get one of those on the right person, that would put him in a good place.
Yes, but I don't think he's gonna get the vassalizations in one session.
Mm, fair enough. Just
The
not enough time.
Majapahit, yeah,
Ooh,
the Majapahit campaign, if that's the one you're talking about, is the last mission in Majapahit's mission tree.
fair
So
enough.
that would take at
Unlikely then.
least 4 hours to get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or if they're talking about Majapahit campaigns against Malay primary cultures, that makes sense and that's doable because it's right
Mm,
after the collapse of after the prevent collapse mission.
right.
That's fairly early on. And against Malay nations, it would include Brunei. So if Brunei expands and they would get the vassalization CB against them, he would be able to enforce that then. So yeah, I guess that might be a little bit RNG. That might be the wild card in his side, I guess.
I apologize. There is a storm that has just started outside my house. So hopefully I will be able to stay with you here.
There's a storm where you at?
There is. Sorry, I'm not sure how much of that you heard. My internet has become a little spotty because it's just started thundering outside. So hope that...
You're in the UK, right? I would say Christo is safe, guys. Don't worry. He is fine. The UK is known to not necessarily go underwater completely that often. In the meanwhile, we can just enjoy Zlewikk over here, crushing over all of Borneo's nations. So I'm not sure if we can switch over to the objectives. Sure. So can we switch over to the objectives? Apparently, Christo was lost in a storm. He was, in fact, not in the UK. He was on board an ocean big ship liner, whatever you call those big ships, you know. And he was eaten by a shark, which means that he's not coming back unless the shark's nice enough to let him go, which is very, very doubtful. Sharks don't really let meat tubers go much, let's say. So I believe that the 4 age objectives are going to be the first one. No, actually, the 15 coastal provinces are going to be the first one that Zlewick's going to go for here. He already has how many provinces? Aside from the starting 9 provinces, he's already gotten another 4. He just needs one more province. One more province, right? There you go. He's got one objective done. He's got 15 coastal provinces done now. He hasn't turned that in, but that's probably because he's too focused on the game. Vassalize a 10 nation province is going to be down the line. Revanchism as well is going to be down the line. Have the most trade power in 4 trade nodes is likely what he's going to go for by just pure expanding all around the area. Talking about Malacca, talking about the Moluccas. Moluccas? It's kind of sounds the same, doesn't it? The Malacca and the Molucca trade node. And then Philippines. Yeah, and I believe maybe Australia or Siam. Australia is likely going to be the easiest one, though, because he just has to get rid of the natives there. Just get a little bit of a foothold. Not much hard work getting into the Australian bits. I think we should take away the objective screen, and we should probably switch on over to Lady Saffron to see what's up. I mean, Corbett, sorry. Honest mistake, okay? Honest mistake. I got confused by the avatar. All right? We can call it Lady Corbett if that makes you people happy, all right? There you go. Problem solved. The Lady Corbett right now is she's going for Lima. Wait. Did he restart? What's going on here? 1445. Oh no. Oh no. I'm busy. Fair enough. I actually want to see if we can talk to him for a little bit. Curious to know why he restarted. Hello, Corbett.
Hi.
How's it going?
Could be going better, you know.
What happened?
Sometimes you, well, okay, so you know how there's a thing called the state statutory rights, and then sometimes, if you're not paying attention, you
Please tell
sometimes
me you
click
didn't
it?
click it. Right.
So
Right,
anyway,
yep,
we're
yep.
back to 1444.
That was a good choice, going back to 1444.
Yeah, I figured at that point, I'm like, oh, I messed up. Like, it's not working.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did you give the +1 mana points though in this run again, or?
I did not. I did not.
Good.
I
good,
figured I would have too much influence on the estates to conquer enough crown land, so,
Yeah. Yeah. No. Don't push yourself like that. You know.
okay.
Well, I wish you best of luck. You seem to have a good restart there, so
Thank you.
GG. And now can we switch on over a little bit to Zlewikk? Let's see what he's up to. I feel like I'm getting too much power. I get the decision now of switching over and talking to people. I like this. I like this. I hope Count Christo never comes back. I hope the storm eats him completely. Hope the shark never spits him out. I mean, what? Who said that? Totally want Count Christo back. I miss him so much. Zlewikk right now is already expanding like crazy. I mean, quite literally, this man has pretty much unified his trade node, with the exception of a few of his tributaries there, which I'm assuming he's gonna take care of a little bit later. He's increasing autonomy so he doesn't have to deal with the rebels. That's fair. Doesn't necessarily need to care about this particular run after what? Oh, what is that? 6 tributaries. Do we have any tributaries in the objectives? Any subjects? Can we switch over to the objectives? There we go. There you go. I really just wanted to switch over to the objectives to show that I have the power of switching over to the objective. I'm kidding. Okay, this is for tactical, objective, mirroring, and watching reasons. All right. So now let's figure out what he's gonna go for next. What do you think, chat? What do you think he's gonna go for next? Do you think he's gonna go for the vassalize a 10 province nation? I don't see that happening for the next foreseeable future. Personally, I think he's mixing in a lot of conquest, but it's already 43 minutes left. So that's a little bit of an issue. I feel like Zlewikk might have taken too many objectives now that I think about it. Because, sure, production leader is not difficult to do. Age objectives, again, is not difficult to do. But then he also has to have a good economy to get the 10,000 ducats in time. And the 10 province subject is going to be a little bit RNG, let's face it. Revanchism means that he's going to have a war in which he loses provinces. So he has to time that properly. We saw in the last run, was it? Or 2 runs ago? Oh, hello there, Count Christo. We missed you. I was telling chat.
I can see something.
How much we missed you.
How dearly I have missed you too. Hopefully chat can hear me now. Hopefully someone might be able to validate to me that chat can hear me. That would be helpful.
Chat. You don't hear him, right? I'll just keep on talking. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, we just pretend the whole time. It'll be glorious. Hopefully, I should now be back. Sorry about that. I believe it or not, I have 3 separate internet connections. All 3 of them failed simultaneously. So that's marvelous. I hope, please don't not respond when I say.
Chat, I'm pretending I'm
You're
not
gonna give me a heart.
Let's see if it works.
Ooh. Oh mods. Jeez.
Oh, what? Sorry, Christo, I didn't hear you there. What happened?
Dear.
What were you saying?
I genuinely can't tell.
Okay, he's back in the shark's mouth, I'm assuming right now. Unless he's playing a trick on me as well. In which case, touche, sir. Touche.
No.
I see how it goes. I see what happened. Yes, indeed. A Sharknado got our Christo over here. So sadly, you're stuck with me. We should probably talk to Zlewikk for a little bit here. I actually want to know what his plan is. Hello, Zlewikk. How is everything going?
Pretty alright, as planned.
I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a ghost behind you. Oh! We distracted him quickly. Somebody replace his mouse.
I charged the mouse just before the game.
Oh, I see. You're one of those people that uses wireless mouses. I see.
Yeah.
I see how it goes. Well, what's the plan? What are you going for here?
I need to get like the only thing that is dangerous for me is getting the splendor. So I'm stacking the challenge. Like I would take the humiliate right now. Then I'm gonna go for the subjects from the mission tree, and we'll be busy.
I thought you were gonna go for the conquest of Sunda, so you get the production of was it spices there? That
I
they're the
have
production
spices
leader.
already. I just have to integrate
Oh.
this, and I have clothes as well.
Oh, congratulations! There you go. What other objectives have you done so far? Because you haven't reported any.
Coastal Princess, I reported.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Need to update that on the objectives. All right. Well, best of luck, and may the best MeTuber win, I guess, or MapTuber at this point.
Thank you.
Okay. So now that we're safe and sound, I didn't want to say this while Zlewikk was here, but yeah, he's the second best MapTuber. Corbet's number one, guys. Corbet's number one. Corbett, I expect my bribe tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the corner of Lexington and Wachangajang. He knows what's up, Cat. He knows what's up. Speaking of Corbett, we should probably... Oh, no, wait, no, we're not switching. Look at that. He prevented the collapse already by 1458 on speed 5, which is pretty good. He's on track, my boy here. 3...
Hello, Ludi. Let's try that again, shall we?
Oh, there you go. He's back. Oh, I was just telling Chad how much we miss you, Christo. I was saying,
Okay.
oh no, I'm so sad that he's gone, and I have to do all the controls myself.
I have this strange suspicion that you are lying to me.
I would never do such a thing.
I think you might. You know, I suspect you. I suspect you of such things.
How dare! How dare he!
All right.
Yeah,
well,
so,
fortunately, I
how's-
heard one half of that conversation with Zlawik. I could hear him, but not you. So we can rock and roll. All right. So let's, if we could have it switched over by a wonderful person in the back end, let's take a look at the remaining challenges. So I know you were just talking to Zlewikk, but I think honestly, with 20 minutes gone, this is looking difficult. I mean, I don't know. Meanwhile, there has been this alliance chain difficulty that Corbett's been facing. Talk to me about how you like Corbett's odds here, because his
let's see.
expansion, I mean, it's been tricky. We've got one challenge completed in 20 minutes by both players combined. This final could start off with a 0-0.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say technically, Zlewick's he's not in the lead because he's gonna be on the minus. Right? I don't know how are we gonna do it if it's 0-0 then, and like one of them has one objective done, but he's still 0 because he's getting the.
Well, I
minus
mean,
2
that would
from
just
the other
be
objective failed.
I mean, that would be them both on 0. I think if we got to the end of the second round with them both on 0, maybe we do it on the number of quests completed. But I don't think so. I think it's true. We should talk about this. So, chat, we have changed the rules a little bit, just because we can't have draws. Of course, in the final there can be only one. Zlewikk or Corbett must emerge victorious. And what we've decided is, it's unlikely they will have the same number of challenges. But what we will do if they end up with the same score is whoever has the highest dev at the end of their run wins. Or if they both have the same dev, whoever has the highest cash on hand. The idea there is not to motivate players to like try and push their dev or whatever. It's just that we make sure we do have a grand finalist winner. But to be honest, I do think it's unlikely that we will see a draw on that level. I have to imagine if someone finds themselves down, they're gonna push, right?
Yeah, for sure they will. For sure.
Definitely not me, by the way, chat, frantically adding credit to my mobile contract so I can keep casting this show on my mobile internet. All right, rock and roll. We're going. So I think Corbett, I mean, obviously he hasn't made like massive progress so far, but I feel like he can still pull this out because he it's not, the things being asked of him feel a little bit easier. It feels almost like he picked slightly better than Zlewikk. It feels like he has, obviously Zlewikk took 3 more, which adds challenge, but it feels like Corbett's challenges are easier.
Corbet's challenges are easier, but then at the same time, you have to remember in E4, it's all about RNG, right? So if you get horrible RNG, you only have 1 hour to fix it. So you might think it's a lot of time, but realistically speaking, it's a lot less time that people can imagine, Plus, the stress of everything is a big deal as well in these kind of duels, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it also feels like he's on a, he's in a bit
Wait,
of
hold on a second. Is he bankrupt? How did he manage to get bankrupt?
He did bankrupt, yes. I was just saying he's in a terrible financial situation. It seems like he really pulled out all the strings. Let's have a word with him, actually.
Yeah.
Corbett, your finances, they're not great.
Yeah. You know how, like, when you take land from a country and your loans become larger, and so, like, your loan cap decreases?
Yeah.
Well,
you should.
I tried to refinance myself, but I realized I repaid the loans, but I couldn't take loans, like larger loans, to fix the loan problem. So
Ooh, you tried
that was the whole thing. I didn't, because I didn't realize that the bankruptcy would actually happen.
Oof. Do you have
Ouch.
bankruptcy as one of your objectives?
I do not. I wish I did, though. That would be really funny.
Does bankruptcy give ticking inflation while you have the modifier? I thought it did.
No, it doesn't. The worst thing it does really is it, like, destroys your ability to fight wars, but other than that, like, it's not awful.
So you were saying you want to restart, right? Or
I don't know,
No,
actually.
I don't.
There's a chance I might be able to pull this off even with the bankruptcy.
I feel like he's pushing on. There's still a chance. I was thinking the inflation ticking would be a good thing, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, it's not like I lose inflation or anything, right? So.
He could just do the inflation and restart, and he's got one objective done. That's one way as well, right?
It's true, but our
That's
players
true,
are doing a little bit less restarting this time around. We'll see.
Well, let's see. I think I can finish this war still. See, look at that. There we go. War's done. Bankrupt, no problem.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
I think that's both starting rivals too, actually. So that's one thing.
It is.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
First
There you
challenge on
go.
the board. First challenge on the board.
It.
Well done.
Oh god, that's
well
such
done.
a big cola.
Oh,
That is a big cola.
What's that in the middle, Christo, between cola and Chimu? Can you tell me what that one is?
Hulala.
No, the one to the
Hoila?
right of Hula.
Oh,
The one-
Chaka.
No, the other one, the white one, and the creamy one.
Corbett,
smack in the
we'll be
middle
right
there.
back. I just have to deal with
Okay.
someone. Hang on. All right. Look at this. Look at this. First my internet dies, then my backup internet dies, then this guy's trying to get me to say terrible things on stream. Honestly, I would
you're
never
talking
say
about-
Andes without, muting myself
No,
first, which is
no.
what you were trying to get me to say, of course.
Yes, that was the word I was looking for.
Oh dear. What do we think about Corbett's odds here?
Oh, he's dead. What? Who said that? No. No,
I
he's
think
doing
it's
good. I
still
would have
doable.
restarted. I would have restarted in his shoes. Like, he could get the inflation. He got the rivals. He could just restart and try and pull through with it, because he doesn't need the lands in the north for his home region, right? The culture group.
Mhm.
And at this point, he would either have to wait for 5 years. If he's going for the Crownlands, though, then he shouldn't restart. He can just wait it out for 5 years.
Mhm.
So there's that as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely possible. He's got still 30 minutes. It's a long time. It's quite a long time anyway. The problem is, of course, that the Andes tends to unify up pretty quickly, so it would put him in a difficult spot. You can get Crownland by releasing. So you would
Release himself.
Yeah, switch down to someone else. Is there a standard Crownland that release nations start with, or is it actually
100%.
based on something?
100%.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, that obviously puts him in a good spot.
Yeah, he could do that. And then he could get the inflation and restart. Just saying, if he's listening.
Yes, it's true. I should speak to restarting. So, if they existed before, it's 30. If they didn't, it's 100. presumably just because, oh, that's a loss to the rebels, though. If, I assume it's just not because what is set is the amount of estate land rather than the amount of crown land. So without the estate land being set, it defaults to being crown land, given that they're not in the history files because they haven't existed. That must be why.
It's painful to watch that army lose against those rebels.
I know. It's a good general. It's a good general on the rebels too.
Yeah.
Not
and they got
so
the siege
hot.
as well. Oh boy.
Yeah.
We should probably switch over to Zlewikk.
We should. Let's take a look at Zlewikk, and I want to speak to restarts for a moment. Look at this, going pretty well for Zlewikk.
Oh yeah.
So speaking to restarts for a moment, we haven't added a strict rule about restarts, but I know viewers quite fairly, a lot of you didn't enjoy the kind of endless restart meta that was beginning to evolve. So we've just reinforced something that we did say at the beginning of the tournament, which is that in general, a restart should only be used if you feel like your run is completely doomed, rather than being used as a tool. So that's the kind of thing that is what we're going with there. Oh, look at that. Satisfying. An AI is sieging down a province you want, so you just immediately consider declaring a second war. It's a relatable moment.
It is for sure, yeah. He's doing really good though. He's already gotten Sula, which is probably going to be his way into the Philippines afterwards, because he can get claims on the Filipino islands right after you get Sula, right? And he's got a good sizable chunk of the Malacca node as well. I'm guessing he might try to get what was the highest trade node. Can we see the objectives?
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a look here. So, oh, sorry. I hit the button one too many times. What we're looking at here is 10,000
the most trade
ducats.
power. The most trade power in 4 nodes could technically be done in just a couple of wars. You just declare wars in the nodes that you're targeted in, right?
Sure, and then when you're occupying, of course, for those of you that don't know in chat, when you're occupying land, you get access to, I think, 10% of its income, but 100% of its trade power. Though, is trade power reduced to being occupied? I think it might be reduced a bit, right?
I'm actually not sure if it's reduced. We should ask chat. They always know everything.
Yeah, chat. Is it reduced?
Chat, tell us.
I don't think it is, but yeah. And then of course, from downstream trade power, you get into a pretty good spot. If he discovered Australia, obviously he would be easily able to get some there, but we'll see. And look at that nice objective done by Corbett. He has managed to get 50% of his land non-core. And remember, that challenge is much more difficult than it used to be, because you have to do it while at war. Meaning you can't engineer a situation where you have it immediately release the provinces or anything like that, because while at war, it's much more difficult to get rid of provinces, which is why we added that difficulty modifier on that. So,
who is he at war with? I cannot really read my I cannot see the screen very well, Christo.
The flag looks kind of like a Brittany plus Normandy turned on its sides. Something like that. That should help you.
How would you put that into words, though? I'm not sure how you would describe that sort of a nation.
Definitely Bromandy. If I were to try and combine Brittany and Normandy, I would say Bromandy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decreased by about 20%, you think? Yeah. Makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going to keep eyes on Zlewikk here, though, for a second, because I'm curious what his next play is. Accepting some cultures. Look at this. Look at this nice run, by the way. Just accepting cultures, lowering war exhaustion.
Yeah,
the country's not falling apart. It's just kind of working.
Yeah, he's just basically having a regular game, having fun, enjoying the game. This is what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what can you do? What can you do if you can't just enjoy yourself?
Exactly. End of the day, E4 is about having fun. Not, restarting again and again until you get the best RNG, right? You just go through.
God,
just go through it.
You're just reminding me of how many times I've tried to force the Burgundian inheritance back in the day when it was much harder.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
All right, so let's take a quick look at these challenges. We do now, sorry, I did it twice again, but we do now find ourselves in a position where Corbett, technically, pulling ahead. Of course, in order to get any points on the board, Corbett will need 5 challenges completed, because at that point he would get 1 point on the board. Whereas to get any points on the board, Zlewikk would need... 7? Yeah, no. Yeah, Zlewikk would need 7 completed to get a single point on the board, once we factor in the points that he would lose from not completing them. But I do feel like, honestly, I feel like Phil Forston with cavalry might be annoying. because he needs to have some manpower, basically. Which
I mean,
obviously
he could just restart for that one. To be fair,
he could,
literally
but we,
just
as we've
restart.
said, our players are honourable, and restarting
but
simply
you know,
for
all's
objectives.
fair in war in games or whatever they call it.
I have heard this theory, but I'm not totally sure it applies.
I seem to remember somebody restarting like 9 times to get the objectives done. So I mean,
I do recall, but we have said, you know, maybe don't do that so much this time. But we'll see. We'll see.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is the end of the season, right? So we might as well see a fair game here.
And there we go. Another challenge completed for Corbett. 25 plus inflation. That has to be starting to get a little bit painful. Oh my god,
Corbett's
and he's an
crushing it
OPM.
right now.
Holy heck. He's an OPM.
Oh dear.
That's not ideal. That's not ideal. Now, this is a scenario where, like, he can restart. And we should tell him that, I feel like. Because he was talking about that. But with the clarifications, Corbett. I would like to clarify. When I was saying don't restart unless it's really ruined.
Yeah, I know.
This looks pretty ruined.
I think the only thing I could get left is like a few years to get the Seas land and then just like dip out maybe. But even that would be a little hard.
One thing that you might want to factor in is that you took 6 challenges, right?
I did, yes.
Seven challenges, sorry. In order to get any points this round, you need to get 5 challenges completed. So my suggestion, take it or leave it, is do whatever it takes to try and get 5, because getting either 3 or 4 is the same outcome.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But you can definitely, this is a restartable situation with honor, in my opinion.
Corbett, what's the name of the nation to the south of Wheel?
Oh my god, this guy. We're going to go and look at Zlawik's situation. Good luck, Corbett. Good luck.
No, the one above that.
Cut the mic. Cut it. Cut it. Cut his mic. Okay. Glad I have a button to do that in this situation. I need a button. It's true. Actually, hey, Speed 5 in the background. Not actually, but could you give me a button to cut Zlewik's mic? And Rudy's, just because I think these two, I need a button to just turn Looty off temporarily. And if you could, when that button is pressed, if you could just put his face in the top right, crying, that would be good. That would really add to me. So it looks here like Zlewick's trying to occupy as much as possible of the Malacca nodes to get the trade power, right? You think?
Yeah,
the transfers
that would make
and
sense.
things?
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense indeed. In terms of age objectives, he's looking pretty fine. I mean, he should have... I think he's gotten the Humiliate already. But we will see. We will see. And then, yeah, we were saying production leader's easy. I'm surprised he hasn't already got it with the islands he grabbed out in the east, to be fair.
I think he already has... he's got Spice. He probably just needs the clothes after he integrates his vassals.
Makes sense.
Unless he's going for another trade good as a secondary, which I didn't pay attention to.
Great point from chat. He's probably going for the 200% overextension. Yes, I bet that's true. This would be a very good situation to do that. So there's, what is that, 80% overextension right there. No 10 province annexation, interestingly. Sorry, 70%. But it should be in a pretty good position now. We will see. I mean, only 20 minutes left on the clock, though. Briefly, to look at this this challenge board here, he's got a long way to go. It looks like we might get both players getting 0 in the first round. Ludi, bring me the optimism. Bring me the optimism.
I think it's actually going to be on the side of Corbett here, man. Like, honestly, 20 minutes left. Zlewick's got 9 objectives left to do. Yeah. Like, sure, they're easy to do, but it's 20 minutes and he would really be cutting it super, super close.
So let's go down the list on Zlewick's side. He's definitely going to get 200% overextension. He can get that in this war, in these current wars.
Yeah.
50% revanchism, unless he, as I will hereby call it. And Chewy, by the way, you know, don't hate me, okay? But I'm going to call it pulling a Chewy when you can't get the AI to do what you want on a ranchism. If he pulls a Chewy on that one, then obviously he would be in a difficult spot, but that really should be able to be done.
Yeah.
Vassalized 10 province nation seems like that's actually going to be a tricky one. I don't know.
That might be the tricky one. Also, own all provinces in a trade node, considering he has to integrate his vassals, might be a little bit of a tricky one as well. And I think he might still have a tributary. I'm actually not sure if he still has the tributary there in the Borneo island.
No, I don't believe he does.
Oh, okay. In that case, should be a little bit easier. Did he also get Sunda?
I'm not certain. I'm not certain, to be honest.
Sunda is also in his node.
Let's take a look at Corbett's perspective here, though, because the restart has happened. If he were to try and... He needs to get, as we said, 5 challenges, because we've got 7 completed, meaning if he gets 5, he gets 5 points. He loses 4 for the 2 he didn't get. That puts him in a pretty good position. So, because 1 point right now seems like it might be a winning strategy. Bear in mind that 1 point won't get him the extra +2, because there's no round win bonus in the final. But that means he needs the 4 gold provinces. So where are the 4 gold provinces in the Andes here?
Cusco and the one south of Cusco.
Okay. So but there's more. There are 4, right? Oh, but you said there's 7.
Oh yeah,
Cusco.
there's like 5 in
right.
The nation between Cusco and Lima's got 1.
Oh yeah, it does it.
Cusco's got 1, and there's another 3 south of Cusco.
Okay.
That's
So
the
that
name of the
should put
nations.
the mountains battle. You know,
Basically, if he
manages
manages to unify his culture group, he's going to get 5 gold mines. So
right. I don't know if he's going to unify his culture group in 19 minutes.
He does not need to attack the one in the north that he's attacking right now, because that's not a part of his culture group. So I'm assuming that's just because they were in an alliance block or something, I guess.
They are the primary target of this war.
But
perhaps it was the best way to get a war with the guy in the south, I guess.
Yeah.
Often, the things we do to get a war with the right people in a war.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes some finagling sometimes.
It really does.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing a HRE revoke the other day, and you end up kind of full calling people, and then full calling their allies, and then full calling their allies, and then full calling their allies, just to make sure you get all of the electors in. And it really, I mean, it would be a confusing war declaration. Can you imagine? It's like, have you seen that classic map of the start of World War One with people like, because we're allied to this person who's allied to this person who's allied to this person who's in the war. It would really be...
Yeah.
You're sitting there, Archbishopric of Cologne, minding your own business. Suddenly, Austria, who's allied to Frankfurt, who's allied to Liège, who's allied to Brandenburg, who's allied to you. And you're like, all right, let's do this thing, baby. We're in. Oh, dear. Chat, how do you like Corbett's odds here? Because I don't, to be honest. I feel like,
I think Corbett can do it in 18 minutes for sure.
18 minutes to get all 4, or 18 minutes to get, 3 of them?
3 of them, 100%. 4,
okay.
It's going to be a little bit close, I'd say. I would say
Tell me which
a
3.
Bit close.
Tell me which 3.
I think he can get the highest trade income in the known world. Sorry, not the highest trade, the 55% crown loans, the 4 gold provinces, and the unite the culture group.
Okay, so you're thinking in classic style, you believe he will get all of them. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is winning. That's a great joke in chat. Thank you for that. We think maybe Corbett might win by default because he's going to get, 1 point, where Zlewikk may get 0. Winning by default, low blow. The guy's gone bankruptcy so many times. You don't need to bring up bankruptcy and defaulting here. Oh dear.
I'm actually wondering how he managed to get 101 sailors. That's that's the highest amount of sailors in the world, right?
It's true. Yeah.
He doesn't have that objective though, does he?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh dear. All right, well, Zlewikk is giving it his best shot here. I mean, it's going to be tricky for him though. He's got no manpower. His economic situation looks okay. I guess we don't know how many more rebels he's got. But he needs this war done so we can get up, and he's trying to, live at 120 overextension, which is pretty nasty. This was I like this as a subscriber suggestion. This was a really good one. I'm enjoying. I'm gonna check real quick because I wanna shout it out. I'm pretty sure this was Spell TV Onus. This was a great challenge because it forces you to either engineer a very specific situation, right? A lot of peace deals all at once, or it puts you into the situation where you have to fight your way uphill with high aggressive expansion. Sorry, high overextension.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a very interesting challenge. Would have been a lot easier to get this one done as a horde.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially because you could, once you had it, you could then raise afterwards and lower your aggressive expansion. Your overextension that way.
For sure, yeah. Especially a few quick wars against Ming, let's say, if you're someone close to them.
Spell to be honest in chat saying there's a lot of good suggestions coming from him. There are, and I shouted this out last round. I'll shout it out again. If you want to be part of the awesome crowd giving us suggestions for future EU4 content and content on all kinds of other stuff, do subscribe to the channel. It's great to have you there. And after today, we can unban Zlewikk and a bunch of other people who are currently subbed who we've been having to keep out of the subscriber suggestions channel over on Discord because otherwise they'd be doing devilish things. Does Zlewikk think he needs to get a certain number of vassals with loyalty? Because that's not one of his missions.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same actually.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
Maybe he thinks he's got that.
And there we go. Corbett has got one, which is highest global trade income, putting him at 4 challenges completed, 3 not completed. It looks like Zlewikk might find himself on the back foot here. Could be very difficult.
I think with a little bit of a push, Corbett could do well. I think it would be doable, but he would have to go full mercs and just really push it a little bit more.
Well, what could go wrong, right? If he went full mercs, I mean, it's not.
He could go bankrupt.
At some point, the amount of debt that he had could become unacceptable and under collateralized, and his lenders would start sending him margin call notices.
I think he had a tough start here. He was expecting to get it done by now, if he had a better RNG start, let's say.
I mean, you were saying earlier that Cusco is no easier.
I
really
Cusco's
feel
definitely no easier.
It is though.
Why do you think so?
Because they have gold mines to start with, so they're richer, so they don't go bankrupt as easily.
Yeah, but even though they have gold mines, though, they're a primitive, so they get no gold from those gold mines until they don't get none.
They get a little bit.
They get 0.4 at the start from 6 production development, which is literally almost nothing.
Excuse me.
It's very little, man. Like I would say 0.6. I would say that the gold mine that Cusco has is not really of any value until they actually stop being a primitive. So the gold mines in the Incan parts are basically good for after you've unified the Incan lands to boost you up to fighting the colonial nations and, kicking them out of South America.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Chat has a great theory, though, that he could try a late game pivot to unite his culture group, and it would explain why he's gone north. He could culture switch to the northern one. He'd have to get rid of the nation up north that he was just looking at. Which could be challenging, but we'll see. What's the challenge? It's a great question. We'll go over to Zlowick's perspective, and I'll bring up the challenges. So right now, Corbett is trying to unite his culture group, meaning you have to control all the provinces in your culture group, obtain 55% crownland, and get 4 gold provinces. Meanwhile, Zlewikk has quite a few things left on the agenda. I think 10,000 ducats, honestly, is going to be very challenging.
Yeah, I mean, even though Majapahit does have a size, it's got a pretty decent economy, and it will have an even better one after he fully cores everything up. I don't think he has the time to do it, though, to be honest, man. Like, I feel like
with 12 minutes left,
yeah,
it's looking very, very tough. I mean, Phil Forsyth with cavalry, he can do that if he manages to nation ruin, but the problem is, in this situation, right, he's pushing to try and get as many challenges as he can done. He needs to get 7. He can only start nation ruining when he's got all the other challenges that he can. This is very difficult. Very, very difficult position. I really think the bans make it dramatically more challenging, because something that you have said so often, Ludi, is like, oh, that's an easy pick. Oh, that challenge is it's automatic. Whereas when there's bans, a lot of those challenges suddenly they're not there anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And he still hasn't taken care of his tributaries in the south there in Bhutan, as well as I think he might be overstretching a little bit here. He might also be panicking, considering that he knows he's got 11 minutes. We should probably make an announcement when they get 10 minutes.
Yes, that's a great point. Chat is suggesting it as well. Thank you for that. We should indeed give a time warning. But I'm feeling pretty good about my channel points right now, chat. Who else? Right, number 2, prediction 2, rise up. I think Corbett's doing pretty well so far. And yeah, I mean, we haven't talked much about the narrative of this game, of course. So far, Zlewikk has been dominant, but Corbett has done pretty darn well. I believe Corbett hasn't lost a game except against Zlewikk. There might have, I'm not certain if that's true. He may have lost one against Lady Saffron. Chat can probably correct me on this, but Corbett has been having a very potent run so far. And Zlewikk, you know, obviously extremely good at the game, but finding himself in a pretty difficult position now. Desperately building up light ships, trying to get those trade nodes under control. Makes sense. He beat you by 1. That's right. Okay. I mean, it's gonna be pretty darn close, but we'll see. He has released a bunch of subjects, and the integration of the vassals in the east, I assume, is for their goods, right? He's trying to get.
I think he already has the goods. He said the spices.
Oh, okay.
So
and where's the cloves production again?
It's the Spice Islands. It's Tidor Turnat, and if they colonize, you can potentially spawn cloves in 4 other islands, I think, or 5 other islands. 5, yeah. You can spawn them in Mahamahara, Sula, and the other ones to the south. It's not many provinces. So at the start, you only have him in 2 provinces, both of which are his vassals. So he just needs to integrate them.
Yeah. It's true. There's another way of looking at this narratively as well, is that, of course, in week 1, Zlewikk beat Corbett, right? So if Corbett beats Zlewikk in this round, in a way, they're 1-1, right? And our grand final of finals will represent the best of 3. But let's have a word here and give him the 10-minute warning. This is your 8.5-minute warning, Zlewikk. Good luck. I won't keep you because I know you need to focus. All right, and we'll do the same for Corbett. Taking a look here, Corbett, honestly, I think Zlewikk is really, really struggling. But now, look at this. Is this the dev push in order to attempt to switch culture? This is your 8.5-minute warning, Corbett.
Wait, he's trying to switch culture?
I'm not sure.
No,
Good luck, Corbett. He can't do that, apparently. Fair enough. It was a theory, but we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, that would make sense, though, because if he does switch his culture, then there's 3 wandering migratory tribes in the northern bits from him.
Yeah.
That he's going to have to...
He can't guarantee that he can see them, unfortunately.
Yeah, the blue one, what's it called? The mosquito.
Oh, he's deving for the Crown Land, of course. Of course. Makes all kinds of sense.
Right, that makes sense, yeah. He's still going to have 2 objectives then that he needs to fulfill.
Yeah, but if he gets Crownland, then he has a point, which means, I mean, you know, obviously going into the second round with a 1-point advantage, it's not huge, it's certainly not decisive, but sometimes 1 point makes all the difference, and it's going to be certainly a confidence boost, managing to go up in a round and prove that his strategy works, right? Prove that taking fewer challenges and giving yourself a bit of an easier situation will be beneficial.
Yeah.
Going to be difficult, though. Definitely going to be difficult.
I think he's got it. 60, he's got a few months and he can get 55. There you go.
Yeah. It's not going to... No, it is going to trigger Rebels right now. But obviously, if this is the last one he's going for, then it's not that big a deal. Just 2,000 Rebels. There is the 55 Crownlands. And there is a point on the board for Corbett. The first ever point that has been secured in...
We should check the board.
Final. We should what?
Since we should watch it. We should see the board. Should switch over to the board.
So let's have a look here. Obviously, Crownland is just being switched over. There it is. And that will go to 5.
He could technically rush for the gold mines, though. To be fair,
I think it's not impossible.
6 minutes.
It's not
is
impossible.
Doable, in my opinion.
It looks like he's not trying. Oh, no, he's back in. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. We'll take a quick look at Zlewikk here, though. But honestly, I wouldn't blame Zlewikk for GGing at this point. Like, I do not see how he can possibly pull this off. Oh my god, look at those subjects as well. I mean, especially if integrating them. He has got a trade to turn off, which can help, but I mean, that is a difficult position.
Oof.
That is a very difficult position. Zlewikk very rarely found himself down in this. I believe, yes, Zlewikk is looking to continue. He doesn't give up. No, even if he can't get any points, you know, we want him to try and get as many of these done as he can, just to prove that, you know, he didn't really set himself in a position where he could only get one, surely. But we'll see. We'll see. I remind you, chat, in order to get any points, Zlewikk would need to get 7 challenges. That's 6 more. That's more than 1 a minute. That seems a little difficult. A little difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I think he took a little bit more than he could handle in 1 hour. Like, he went for pretty tough objectives, to be fair, like the 200 overextension and so on. Sure, they're not difficult to do if you have 2-3 hours, right? But in 1 hour, you should think about the time aspect a little bit more.
Says the guy that said he can definitely get all 10.
I mean, I thought that he could do it. I thought he was going to go as a horde, not Majapahit, though.
Oh, yeah. Excuses. That's what I'm hearing. I feel like the worst pick on his board is 10,000 ducats. Because the amount you have to push yourself to get all these others, there's no way you're going to have 10,000 ducats left in the bank after that. Because you're going to have to go so hard to get all these challenges done.
Yeah,
that you're going to be down on cash. It's going to be very interesting in the next round to see whether we see Zlewikk take less challenges or whether he's still going to go hard and try and make it work. You know, will he get afraid after this? But I don't know. What do you think? How many do you think he's going to take next time?
I think he's still going to go for 10.
Yeah?
Knowing Zlewikk, he's definitely going to go for 10.
Because he needs to redeem himself, or because it's actually the best strategy?
Because it's the best strategy. End of the day, you go in fully, right? If you have good RNG and you do all 10, then you win the round. If you don't, and you take 6 of them and the opposition takes 6 as well, he's going to win even if you get all 6 and he gets 4 because he's got the points from the previous run. So he kind of has to take 10.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it also depends how many Corbett bids, right? Because let's say Corbett walks into this with a 1-point lead in the final of finals, which it seems like it's gonna. But
yeah,
I mean, I think if Corbett then picks 7 in the next round, though it can win with 9, right? Or because he'd want to be putting himself in a position to go 1 over top. But if Corbett walks into the next round and picks 6, there's no reason for Zlewikk to pick more than 8. That's my feeling anyway. But look at the APM is beginning to increase as he freaks out about the possibility of getting this done in time. He's annexing Brunei. Is the idea to finish annexing Brunei, release them, go to war with them, and then vassalize them?
I think so. That's why he gave him a few extra provinces over there, if you notice.
There's no way he does that in 2 minutes 30.
Yeah,
Doesn't Brunei start with a 4?
He might have deleted that when he annexed. I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
But
it's possible.
It's still going to be super close, let's face it.
I'm not sure. Alright, he's typing stuff in though. Age objectives. He's got age objectives. That's 2 done.
Oh,
now
okay.
he needs to get about 1 every 20 seconds.
Oh boy. I mean, we've seen him pull a lot of them in the previous runs. Like in the last 2 minutes, he got a ton of objectives done, right?
Yeah.
So you never know.
It's always possible.
Like you said though earlier,
possible.
he needs to get 7 objectives in order to actually get 1 point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe that's right. With 10 completed, he's going to be getting -6 if he gets 7. So he needs 7. It all just gets worse from that. But yeah, he's doing well on the multitasking, but with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, I mean, I'm going to give him a 1 minute, 20 second warning just real quick, just so he definitely knows. 1 minute and 20 seconds. He's going. He's going. The man believes. He's still trying. I respect the heck out of that, by the way. Because he knows he's he's going to get 0 points, right?
Yeah, just going till the last second shows that, you know, he's a man that's got a pretty solid character. And he's somebody you can always rely on to go till the very end, right?
Mm-hmm. Got the mental fortitude. That's what it takes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. I think... Oh, I don't know. It's going to be... What else can he get? I mean, he's obviously trying to get the most trade power in 4 trade nodes, which he looks close to getting now.
He is actually very close to getting there.
Yeah, really close. With 30 seconds on the clock, though.
Oh.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. 15%. Come on. Come on. He's so very close. 15 seconds left, though. I don't know. I don't know. It seems almost unbelievable. This is next level trade optimization. Look at your trade screen. You can see if you're the top on a trade node on the trade screen, though. Oh, but not quite enough. There is the timer, and he is out. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. What a round, though. The mega copium is being inhaled. Fantastic.
It's needed. It's definitely needed here.
Mm-hmm. So that was, to summarize, 5 completed by Corbett for 2 not completed, for a total score of 1, and 2 completed and 8 not completed for Zlewikk, for a total score of nothing. Fortunately for Zlewikk, we did not add back in the possibility of going to negative scores. Otherwise, that would put them in a very bad position. But let's see what Anders thinks of all this madness.
It's all to play for.
It certainly is. I mean, that is the main takeaway, right? Anything could happen. And with 1 point, it also pushes Zlewikk to kind of do what he does anyway, right? And go over top.
Yeah, so as you just mentioned, because of the way this works, of course, we can see that Corbett has 5. They're all worth 1 point, minus, and failed 2, minus 4, that's 1. We don't even need to do Slavik's math. Ludi, why did Zlewikk just end up with 2?
I think Zlewikk is a really great player, but he didn't think about the time bit in this particular run. Like, Majapahit is a really great nation and easy to get all of the objectives that he's selected over there. But the reality is, though, that it takes a while. You know, it takes time.
I mean, that does make sense, I guess. We've seen this a few times, right? Zlewikk has either crushed it or been crushed.
I mean, it's Icarus. Yeah. It's Icarus right here. He reaches for the sun.
Yeah, he could have done all of them if he had literally just 10 to 15 minutes more, to be fair. Like, he could have pushed through all of them.
That is what they all say every time.
Look at this man. Sorry, he's on this side of me. Look at this man. This is a precise this is the epitome of Ludi's commentary right now. 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. He can do them all. Oh,
5 minutes he could have done it.
No problem.
Overtime. Come on.
Well, there is not going to be any overtime today. However, this is just the first duel of 2. So both of our players have a chance to get some more points before we crown the victor of Season 1 of the draft. Count Christo, Ludi, we'll talk to you after the break, so see you guys soon. That is also true for us talking to the players and the second draft picks. All of that coming up. It's all to play for.